Okay. Just needed to see. Yeah, I'm back. I'm back. Thank you guys for joining me. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Yeah, I was on a 30 days ban from Facebook, so I just got back a couple of hours ago. And I would like to say thank you for those of you who actually reached out to find out how I was faring, because some thought something had happened because I was quiet for a long time. It was actually 30 days because of a comment I made, or I repeated Mazen Kano's a comment on the 16th of last month. Yes. So I repeated what he said. So Facebook said I went against their community standard. So I was given this 30 days after several warnings. So it's good to be back. Though I've been following the programs of Mazen Kano and Simon Ekwal, Mayegu, and all the rest, but I couldn't comment. I was just like listening. I couldn't even share a post from Facebook to Messenger. That was how bad it is. So I couldn't do anything. So it's good to be back. And unfortunately, I was on that same ban, observing the 30-day ban. My birthday came and then went. It happened actually, my birthday was on the 9th. And I would like to say thank you for those of you who wished me happy birthday messages, and they sent me wishes on my wall. I'm grateful and I'm happy that majority of you remembered to wish me happy birthday. So it's good to be here and it's good to be alive. And just like Mazen Kano will always say, we must continue. We must continue. I won't take much of your time. Thank you, Sunday. Thank you for joining, and Frank, thank you for joining as well. I won't be taking so much of your time. Just quickly, there was something I had in my. I've been thinking about it, even though a lot of people they've said something about it and trying to kind of talk sense into people to see everyone as equal, especially in Igbo land. Is this has been bothering me, and it's called Osu. Then sometimes people, though there is a name we bear in my village, and they will think when they hear this name, they say, "Are you an Osu? What does that name mean?" Because for me, and from our side, we do not know what Osu is. Actually, we do not practice it. We see everyone as the same. So this has been bothering me actually, even though Mazen Kano has made a statement about it, that no one is Osu, everyone is equal. But it's quite unfortunate that our people still practices that system Osu. And it has made a lot of our Igbo people to actually leave the land and go out there, and then go to other to other ethnic groups and then get married to those people. So this is what we really need to stop in our land. Though we've been saying it that it's not happening, but it's still happening. There are some villages or some states you go to, and it's very, very serious. And when their children wants to get married, the next thing they do is find out who this family is. You know why they say find out who the family is? It's just to find out if these people are Osu, if you can marry into the system, into their family. But there's something we all seem to be forgetting, that everybody is made in God's image. God created each and every one of us. He took out his time to give us the features we have, the organs, the everything that made us human. It was done. God did that for us. So for anyone to come around and then call someone or other people Osu is actually uncalled for. It is not a good thing to label someone an outcast. It's just like that is like being racist against your own person. It's being racist against your own person. And so some people say that with this, some people say that those ones they call also, they're actually against the restoration of Biafra. But me, I would say they should actually support it. I would say they should support, because once you support the actualization of Biafra, trust me, the system, only the Biafra alone will automatically abolish everything. It will not give anybody any room to call someone an outcast, because there will be a law guiding every one of us. There will be a constitution that will actually keep everyone in line and in check. Except those ones who are actually, and then who are against their fellow human, and calls them also, and also means an inferior, like a slave. You call someone that God created an inferior person, it's wrong. It's just like you, some of us living outside the country, you said the whites are being racist. Like the whites are calling you an outcast. That is what it means, because they see you as inferior. So when you see your own person back home as an inferior, it means the person is an outcast. Just like the Fulani see us all from in the southern, those of us from the southern area, as inferior. That means they see us as an outcast, and we do not even have the right to be in the same space as them. That is why the ethnic cleansing is ongoing. So imagine you, who is actually, you call yourself a freeborn, and you call someone who God created in his image an outcast. That is wrong. That is a mindset we actually need to snap out of. We shouldn't call anyone that name. We shouldn't see anybody that God created. God took out his time to do that, and call the person an outcast. Nobody have that right to do that, to call someone an outcast. I would say they should actually support the freedom movement. They should support Biafra. Those ones they call Osu, they should support Biafra, because Biafra will even give everyone the equal right. And the equal right to, you have a voice, you can mingle. Do you know how it feels that if you're being castrated and then they throw you in a cell and then you're there all alone, you don't mingle with people? That is how it feels to call somebody also, and they cannot mingle with their own people from the same locality, from the same village. That is how it feels. It's like they are being imprisoned. In their mind, they're actually imprisoned. They cannot go out freely without people pointing at them. That is very wrong. Because before God and man, before God, we are all equal. And what makes us the same thing is, we have the same features. And the day you die, they equally die as well. They will die, and it's just 6 feet below. We all go down. The same 6 feet. You're freeborn, you call yourself freeborn, you call others slave. When a slave, or the people you call slave or also dies, they are being buried 6 feet. And you, who calls himself or herself a freeborn, when you die, you also go down 6 feet. There is no difference. And then we also go to face the same judgment throne. We are all the same. So it's the same thing, the same blood that flows in your vein flows in the veins of these ones. The same people. I do not see any reason why you said my child cannot get married to someone who is from this land, because they seem to call their Osu or their outcast. When you get married to them, evil will befall you. That is totally wrong. They have made our people to believe in such bullshit, and that is wrong. Nobody should be termed as an outcast, because we are all freeborn. We are all God's image. We are made in God's image. You stand before the throne of God tomorrow to answer to your crimes or to answer to whatever you've done. They also have the same right to stand before God to answer to whatever they have done. So it's the same fate that will befall. You do good, you have the same fate. You do bad, you have your own fate. So it doesn't actually change anything. It doesn't. When you go before God, God will not say, this is an Osu, you stand on this line. You're a freeborn, stand on this line. That is not going to happen. It's not what God wants for us. So we should have this, we should just, this thinking of calling our people names and making them feel inferior should be purged out of our system. We have a bigger thing ahead of us. We have a bigger challenge ahead of us. And we need everyone. We need everybody's hand on deck. Everybody's hand on deck to stir this ship. We need everyone. No one should be left out. We need to carry everybody along. So refrain from calling your own person Osu or an outcast. In English, they call them outcast, and we see them as also racist. This racism thing is also, I would say, racism is also known as calling someone an outcast or osu, because you see them as inferior before you. But before God, we are the same people. It doesn't change. So you cannot be calling your someone that has 5 fingers or five fingers on each hand, and then the toes, they've got 5 on each legs. They move like you do. They breathe the same air. They have blood flowing. They eat with their mouth. There is no difference. So stop this nonsense of calling your own kind osu. We all should have this. We all should have one love flowing in our vein. Which all should. When you see people being subjugated or being maltreated, you should have this human feeling inside of you. You should have this human feeling inside of you, because what we have ahead of us is actually huge. We cannot leave it for few people. And when Biafra comes, trust me, those ones who've been practicing also, they'll be forced to leave that system. And trust me, when they say no, they cannot, they will still see people, or they will still see you will still see my neighbor or this village or this community as everybody living in that community, they're all known as outcasts. Then you will face the law, you face the consequences. So we should start now to actually bridle our tongue and to actually sensitize our way of reasoning. We should all do that. Coming out to call people names doesn't really tell good on you as an Igbo man. Sending your own people out of the village, telling them they've committed an abomination. Who are you to judge someone or to call them out that they've committed abomination? Yes, you can give them the punishment due them. If they did something wrong, they have a punishment they can serve, but not by getting them out of their own land, their own ancestral land, and you're sending them to a foreign land or to a foreign place where they know no one and they now integrate. That is absolutely wrong. It's something we should all speak against. It's something we should all, join our hands. Brother Joseph Okechukwu did something about it, and he did a marvelous job by, going home, bringing people and together, trying to help. Every day he received reports about this same issue. Somebody wants to get married, you tell them that you cannot marry this lady, she's an outcast. Or if the guy finally marries the lady or the woman finally marries the man, it becomes another war they're going to face in the family. It's traumatizing. Emotionally, it's traumatizing. Maybe you might not know how traumatic it is for you to, for someone to see you and call you it's like, I don't know if you've seen the Indians Untouchables. Oh my God. The kind of treatment they receive. Don't call people untouchable. They might not live up to your own standard, or they might not be rich as you are, but they are all equal. We are all equal before man and God. The Fulanis, they see us as slaves and they see us as outcasts. That is how they see me and you. So what makes you different? If you can call your own person an outcast, and then the Fulani comes in to call you an outcast, there is no difference. They say there is strength in unity. If you try to break, when you bring a bunch of broom, you try to break it, that is unity. You cannot break a bunch of broom because they are together, and that togetherness, that unity gives them that strength. But when you bring in a strand of broom and you break it, is easy broken. So when you try to segregate your people, try to push your people aside, and then you separate them from who God has made them to be, or you separate them from your own community, when the enemy comes to attack, they will be able to penetrate. They'll be able to penetrate. So that's why they say there is a strength in unity. There is strength in unity. Our people, we need to snap out of this nonsense. You need to snap out of this nonsense. Stop calling your people an outcast. Stop calling your fellow human an outcast and also. It is not a right thing. Some of you are crying abroad, in Europe, in America, Trump is a racist, the white people, they are racist. When I try to look for a job, they don't give it to me. They give somebody who is less qualified. But when you come back home, how do you treat your own person? The same treatment you meted out on your own person, that is the same treatment you're going to get when you integrate yourself into another man's land. They see you as also an outcast, but you think it's racism. But the way you see your own person, that is how they will see you outside. So this is wrong. It's a wrong approach to life. It's a wrong approach to life. I think in Imo State they practice that a lot. In Anambra State, I think they also practice that a lot. But where I come from, when they ask me, I was like, what is that? It's like a strange thing. Actually, it's a strange thing to us. When I ask my dad, why do we answer this name? Like our forefathers, those days, they answered some funny names. Mosu, Osuji, Oswago, those funny names. But they would think you're an Osu because there is an Osu in your name. That doesn't portray that you're one. Even if they call you one, you just tell them you can beat your chest and walk, raise your shoulders high and walk like a king and a prince or princess or a queen that you are, because God has made you in his image. So you should be living like a prince. Don't let someone use their tongue to subdue you, to make you feel inferior of yourself. You shouldn't. You shouldn't feel inferior of yourself. God made you in his image. Do you know what it means to have the image of God in you? His breath is in us. That is why we are alive. God will take out his time. It's just like, you taking out your time to build something. It took you years to develop something. Then somebody comes to tarnish the image of what you just built. Of course, you go crazy. That is how these ones feel. They go mad, the emotional trauma, the psychological trauma. The other day, there was something I saw. I saw a video. They said this woman did some diabolical thing. I don't know whether she killed someone or she just did some juju. They chased the woman out with her kids, those small children, and she had a baby on her back, a small child. They didn't even have that human sympathy. These children, how are they going to survive? Why is this woman going with these children? She did something wrong. Give her the punishment she deserves. Then she will repent. Then you bring them back with love. You send them out with the kids. The children were crying. Small kids. How would they be able to survive? No husband. She was going along with the kids. And then in the end, you will say you love your neighbor. That is not love. It's a pure hatred. Another video was going on. They made another video which went viral. A young girl, pregnant young lady, sleeping in an uncompleted building. Somebody comes and said, you need to leave this place. And she was begging. The woman said, don't touch me. If you touch me, I'm going to slap you. A lady. You don't know her story. You don't know what made her to be in that situation. But in the end, on Sunday, you go to church and be praising God, clapping that you love your neighbor. And when pastors shout this, you scream back on the top of your voice. But inside of you, you are just like a demon. You don't see people like yourself. You see them as a nobody. If you cannot start now to treat the people around you right, then when will you start? Well, just wanted to drop this. I hope Mr. Mazi Kanu will also speak more on this Osu system thing back home. I hope he will speak more about it and let people, the more we talk about it, I think we shouldn't just say it once and stop. It's something that we have to be hammering every now and then. We should be talking about it every now and then. We need to be hammering in, be speaking it in every now and then. We shouldn't just speak it once, twice, and then we forget about it. Because once you speak it once and you think people will take correction, they will not. Until something is being put in place to curtail and to curb this thing completely, to get rid of this thing completely. The more we keep talking about it, the more we sensitize people from what is going on. Okay, so it's good to be back. Thank you guys. For those of you who wished me my happy birthday and who sent me messages, I'm grateful. I'm grateful. Thank you. I'll see you guys some other time. Okay? All right. You have a nice day, and then you stay blessed and stay safe. Thank you.